Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to talk about fear-based actions versus inspired actions, and honestly just what can be a controversy over whether or not you should be interacting with your 3D reality. And I feel like I've actually made multiple videos on this, and I will keep talking about this issue because I continue to have a lot of thoughts on it, and I like to share my thoughts with you. And I think you like it when I share my thoughts with you. So I'm so excited that we can be here together sharing this moment. But what I'm going to talk about is, I'm in some manifestation groups on the internet. I like to observe other people's success stories, get inspiration for things that I haven't even thought to manifest, or I just like to see things. And I noticed a lot of people recently talking about, should I take this action? Do you think this is a good idea or a bad idea? And almost always the responses to this, in these like sort of online support group style groups, I said groups a lot, is that you should only take action if it's not out of desperation or fear. And of course I agree objectively, but then I started reflecting on the times that I learned a lot because I took fear-based actions. Now, so I'm going to sort through this a little bit. I think when it comes to should I take this action or not, are you repeating something that you have the power to stop repeating? I have been in loops where I could not stop them. I just knew I wasn't going to be successful, and that was my belief, until I learned things the hard way and got my hand slapped, or your wrist slap. Is that the my hand slapped? I feel like that's not the saying. I think it's get your wrist slapped. Basically, until things were just so bad, I was forced to let go of it. I used to manifest that a lot for myself because I did not have the boundaries and just what I needed within myself and my self-concept to exit those cycles without that type of situation. So that's one question to ask yourself. Are you caught in a loop that you are able to practice breaking? I'm not talking about it's hard. I mean, what is your belief around it? Do you believe that you can do this and you know that you should? So that's where you can kind of teeter-totter back and forth between those two. And let me just say that there is nothing wrong with any decision you pick. You cannot make the wrong choice. You can delay your progress and your journey, but this is also where I want to kind of throw out some new thoughts here. Not new thoughts, just my thoughts, that I personally really like healing through what I'm going to call high contrast scenarios in life. And what I mean by high contrast scenarios is typically very dramatic things, whether it's just internally in my brain, I'm dramatic and, like fear-based, or it's an actual drama playing out. I like it. It's very motivating for me. That is not to say that my life is hectic and chaotic. Honestly, it hasn't been that way in years. I have stopped manifesting the drama in my reality. It just lives in my brain where we're healing together. It's really not that bad anymore, but I just want to be clear that I am not trying to promote you perpetuating really unhealthy environments for you and dangerous situations. Definitely nothing like that. Definitely nothing like that. Yeah. So there's different layers to, taking action, and is it fear-based and to what extent? So like I said, I used to get stuck in these loops, and I used to have to manifest really crazy things, like make or break situations, or final straw, situations, because I just was not going to take the actions that I needed to end things. I had a huge problem with being able to take accountability. I don't know that that's the right word, but I used to need it to always be other people's faults that I was walking away from situations because I never felt justified. Was I justified to have walked away a long time ago? Yes. Did I feel justified? No. So I would manifest shifting the responsibility onto someone else, and it would usually have to be something extremely dramatic because I just had poor boundaries, and so I thought that a lot of things, were excusable, and I would get myself into these things. Anyway, so these are the loops. So once you decide that you're in a place, and you're probably watching my videos, you want to break your loops. Now, when a fear-based action presents itself, really trust your heart. Because again, there is a lot of value potentially for you, depending on your process, to go with the fear-based option and learn the lesson the hard way. I had something happen of the recent months where I could feel this hint of a fear-based action, and on the surface it presented as the logical thing to do. But I could just feel like a fear that if I chose this, it would be fear-based. And I sat with it for a few days, and I decided, no, I'm not going to do it. And then it just kept coming back around, and eventually I ignored the fear, and I just went with the logical aspect. And of course it played out. The fear, because I chose the path of feeling that fear, is how I'm perceiving it. Something happened that wasn't really scary, but it was triggering for me, and it triggered a piece of me I just didn't even, it's hard for me to even still fully understand it, even though I understand the wound that it came from. But it was like so interesting how this very seemingly normal thing triggered me, and that trigger manifested in my reality in what I'm sure most people would consider undesirable circumstances, but these undesirable circumstances have given me everything I need, the motivation, the pressure, and the space and time to work through whatever that wound was. Because this wasn't just some bad decision or a decision that I made. This was a wound that kind of like peeked its little hand up there, and I decided to address it. I didn't feel that or know that or think that when it was happening. I just kind of went with what I felt was guided. And I know I could have chosen to not do that, and things would be very different right now. But by very different, I mean I might have the desirable circumstances still, but I would not have seen because that one trigger led me down a path. And I have done some amazing healing for myself that I am so proud of, and I can't wait to be like far enough down that path to be able to talk about it and share it. It's still something I'm like floating around in the midst of, but I think I've shared it a little bit. I don't remember. Yeah, like that's my style. That's my style. So when you have something that you want to do, ask yourself, is it a bad habit? Is this kind of like you're allergic to dairy? I know someone's going to say it's not allergic to dairy, you're lactose intolerant. I'm actually both, so that's why I said that. Is it like you're allergic to gluten and you decided to eat the gluten anyway, even though you know the consequences aren't worth it? Or did you, I don't know how to use that analogy. I don't know how to use the gluten thing. I don't know. Did you know that you were supposed to be breaking a habit, and you had the power within you, and you kind of chose not to? You took the easy way out. You knew it was going to be hard, because breaking patterns and creating new routines is hard. It is hard, and it might be something you struggle with, honestly, off and on for weeks. There is something I will not get into right now, and it's so small in my life, but it is also so annoying that I'm still doing it every day. And I have tried multiple different things to stop. It's just one of those little bad habits that I have, and it's like one day I'm gonna stop, I'm gonna find the answer, but it's like every day I have to try a little harder. And I know that I said I wasn't gonna use the word try in my vocabulary anymore. Every day I implement something new to attempt to break the habit. There we go. I like that wording. So I'm going to wrap this up. You know how that goes. Trust your process. Interact with your 3D world the way you want to. Now, this trigger that happened for me and then the undesirable circumstances, I have enough strength within myself and just self-assuredness and confidence and understanding of my ability to manifest, and that I understood the situation that I created and it didn't freak me out one bit. Now, if you're going to trigger yourself, it's going to then manifest and you're going to spiral into something that is just too much for you to handle. Don't do it. Don't do it. That is definitely when the advice of don't take action and just focus on yourself should be followed. You need to build within yourself the strength and ability and wherewithal to have, it's like a tool, like you need to have like the proper equipment to go into these situations. It's like I had the trigger, it manifested, and now I'm in the manifested reality, working through everything, seeing all the reflections that I need to heal. And yeah, I mean, it's not the manifestation I want, but this is the healing to get me there, and I'm absolutely fine because I know I'm going to get there one way or the other. And I was already strong in that. Now, if you really struggle with that and this is something that is really going to upset you, then I think that you need to work on your self-concept more, because then you'll start to see things the way that I just presented it, that this is, every hiccup is another piece for you to heal. And I know it can be like, oh my gosh, like when is this gonna end? Honestly, I don't think it ever does. I don't think that this work ends in this life. I think we are always working, and we just really do, gosh, as I'm about to say it, I'm like, I used to hate when people said this to me, but I think that we just get more used to enjoying the process, because we become more self-assured and we become more confident in ourselves. And that's actually something I would recommend for you guys to affirm for: confidence. Because you might have self-worth, but you have confidence. And I've been playing with this as an affirmation recently, and I've seen some really cool results. And it's just been like 2 days, 1 day. I can't count that well. It's a joke. I can count just fine. I just can't ever remember what day is what. Everything blurs together. But yeah, I paused so that I didn't go on another tangent. I'm going to wrap it up. Know yourself. This is a process of getting to know yourself. Take the process the way you want to take the process. If you need to refrain from triggering yourself, and I'm going to get into this in another video more, if you need to, like, how this can work out, especially when it comes to how people will say you shouldn't talk to other people about manifesting because it'll trigger you. I'm going to do a whole video on this. You need to build that security, that knowing, that trust in your own ability to fix any situation, and to create anything, to create any solution, and that these hiccups, these negative circumstances, or these circumstances, these undesirable whatever, is just a result of the wound that you're looking at and healing. And yeah, it's confusing, and sometimes the whole thing hasn't revealed itself, and it takes its own time, and that's life. So, know yourself. Again, I'm not talking about creating dangerous or unhealthy, like truly unhealthy situations. I'm just talking about sometimes we need that extra contrast. And sometimes we need, I don't know, I like the motivation of a high pressure scenario of, I like it. It feels very rewarding for me, because the contrast of suddenly not having the thing and then healing the wound and then suddenly having all of it is just like exciting for me, because it just feels like proof of, the miracle of manifestation in our consciousness to me. So that's my 2 cents, 15 minutes worth of it, and I'm actually going to end it here. So thank you so much for tuning in. I absolutely love reading your comments. You guys are so sweet. I love reading all of them. They make me so happy. I want to save each and every one of them in my heart forever. I love you. I hope that you're having an amazing day, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.